Soon as my flow starts, I compose art like the ghost of Mozart. Even though they all say that they're real, I know that most aren't. Boy, you think you're clever, don't you? Girl, you think you're so smart. Come with me to another side in a world so cold and so dark.
What's up, what's good, YouTube? Welcome to another Universal Gamer update by your boy Neep Sidebot, the leader of the Universal Gamers. Bam! Brought to you by multiplatgametry.com, where the gamers go and unite. Keep trying to stress to you guys to check the website out. It's pretty cool. Like I said before, it's like the Twitter, Facebook tube of gaming and stuff like that. The gamers unite. You know, you can post videos and stuff like that, and check out other gamers that you probably don't run into every day because you probably only play on 360 or only on PS3, but everybody going to that website and unite together despite what you play on. That's why it's called multiplatgametrap.com, multi-platform gaming. Simple as that. And that's why I'm representing my boy Freddie Frego, which is the leader of multiplatgametrap.com, because you represent that multi-platform gaming, and I'm representing the Universal Gamers, which is pretty much the same thing. A universal remote works for everything, and I'm a gamer that plays everything. You know. So yeah. Now, let's get my Universal Gamer update kicking off, starting with my first segment, or maybe even my only segment of this Universal Gamer update, which is Spit Game. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there have been noticing it's been a lot of threes this year. It's been a lot of threes this year. Uncharted 3, Resistance 3, Gears of War 3, Modern Warfare 3, Battlefield 3. Now, I'm grabbing a handful of those games, and I'm going to be talking about games that's on their third sequel and maybe becoming a full-on franchise. You know, games move from their third sequel to the franchise. I'm talking about each game 1 through 3 and each different game briefly, and give you guys my personal opinions of those games within their third sequel and the sequels that came, or the games that came before the third sequel or whatever and stuff like that. I'm gonna grab a handful of old school games and talk about those briefly. Hopefully that they come out with, you know, a sequel after their third one. So the first game up I got on the list is Resistance. Now, Resistance 1 was the standoff and launched pretty much the PS3, and it was a good launch with Resistance because Resistance did a good job at representing what the PS3 can do, but not fully, but representing what people are gonna get a taste of in the life cycle of the PS3. It put a lot of enemies on the screen at once, upgraded the textures way better than the PS2, and it did so many things that, you know, the PS2 can only dream about doing. Resistance 2 capitalized on that, but at the same time they messed up some of the things that made Resistance 1 great. They made you into a super soldier, your health regenerated, and then had that sense of urgency. You're inside a military, you know, working for, you know, military government and stuff like that. You're a badass. You know, it has some enemies that kind of gave you the oh shit moment and the oh shit factor, like the invisible enemies that come running at you. All you hear is their footsteps until they get extremely close to you, and then like you just shooting anywhere. You know, it had those oh shit moments like that, but it didn't give you that sense of urgency like Resistance 1 did. Now, Resistance 3, which is the third sequel and the last game within the Resistance franchise, or Resistance sequel becoming a franchise, everybody know how I feel about Resistance 3 so far. For the people that watched my earlier videos that came before this one, Resistance 3 was my first person shooter game of 2011 because it did so many things that Resistance 1 and 2 didn't do. It had that sense of urgency and that sense of oh shit moments that Resistance 1 did, and it took out all that super badass, I'm a badass soldier that Resistance 2 had inside of it. You know, it felt like you were fighting for survival. It gave you that Fallout 3 feeling where you're trying to survive and stuff like that. And it was the first game in a long time that made me like the music, the music score in the game is the shit. The enemies coming at you. I was actually like on my toes in a lot of moments in that game, Resistance 3. And, you know, it's been a long time since, you know, when I'm playing a monster game and these monsters are coming at me and stuff like that. I'm like, oh crap. Okay, Uncharted franchise. Uncharted 1, you know, was an underappreciated game, under the radar game because it didn't have a lot of advertisement behind it. I picked up Uncharted 1 after playing a demo like 5 or 10 times and stuff, and I loved Uncharted. Like, that was like one of my favorite PS3 games of that time once I played Uncharted, besides Metal Gear Solid 4. But Uncharted was the shit. Uncharted 2 came out, capitalized on that, on Uncharted 1 like a motherfucking. Even the commercials that was advertised didn't lie. You know how they go over the top inside some gaming commercial saying, "Oh, this is one of the best games of all time," blah blah blah. The commercial where the guy was talking about how his girlfriend didn't want him to stop playing because the game was so cool and she just wanted to watch him play through the whole thing. That's true. Just 2 days ago, I had like 9 people over here, all my cousins and other family. Half of them motherfuckers don't even play games, don't even like games. They come over and they be like, "You always playing the game every time I come over here." I was playing Uncharted 3, and I swear to God, if you were outside, you'd think people inside the house watching a NFL football game. Because people was like, oh, run, go. Like, it was like epic inside here. It's like we were watching a fucking movie. You could get almost 10 people inside, and they're all into the fucking video game as if it's a movie. That's the only game in game history that have ever done that. The Uncharted franchise is the only game that has ever done that. That's why I have a special place in my heart for for the whole Uncharted franchise. Gears of War 1 was the shit. It showed what the Xbox 360 can do times 10. Like, when I played Gears of War 1, it was just stupid ridiculous. Like, I was playing through this game, like, damn, like, I was like how I am right now, didn't have nothing to say. It's like, damn, I haven't seen nothing like this before. The gameplay, the graphics, the way stuff is, the music, the sound effects, like, I'm like, damn, I never played a game like this in my life. And Gears of War 2 capitalized on some stuff that Gears of War 1 didn't do, but at the same time, what game developers do in their second sequel that fucks up the game is that they try and do too much. They slow down the gameplay, thinking that's going to play better and make you have that sense of urgency. So in Gears of War 3, they capitalized big time, and I'm thinking that it's hard to, top Gears of War 3. The only way you're going to top Gears of War 3 is doing the same thing, but have the story 10 times more epic and stuff like that, and doing some little tweaks with the multiplayer. Not really tweaks, but add more to the multiplayer, which is almost starting to be like the Call of Duty franchise, where it's only too much you can add, Okay, next game, Modern Warfare 3. For the people out there that don't understand, Modern Warfare 3 is the third Modern Warfare game inside the Infinity Ward sequels. Now, Modern Warfare 3 did so much stuff that Call of Duty 4 and Modern Warfare 2 didn't do. At the same time, I felt like they should have upgraded their engine and stuff like that, because there was some oh shit moments and some cool ass moments that made me play like this, with my mouth open a little bit and like just in a still pose, just playing it. But the only thing that messed it up, that didn't have me like deeply into it, is that the engine is old as hell, and like it just looks too blurry, and the textures is too bad. They need to upgrade their engine, use the DICE engine, use the Unreal engine or something. You don't always have to use your own engine. Buy somebody else's engine, license to their engine or something like that. And if you can't build one yourself, it won't hurt to use somebody else's that's better than yours. Because you use somebody else's, don't mean you suck at what you do. That just means you use somebody else's engine to make your kick-ass game. A lot of people use the Unreal engine. Try doing that. Or, I don't know how other developers work, but I know some developers let other people use their engine even though they're not cooperating and making a game together. The next game franchise I want to talk about is God of War 1 through 3. God of War 1, again, set the standard for the PS2. It showed what the PS2 can do. Not like Killzone 1 did, but I'm going to get to that later. It shows what the PS2 can do and stuff like that, and it just gave you this epic moment fighting these big-ass monsters and stuff like that, and the scale of what those developers can do on the screen was just ridiculous. God of War 2 did the same thing. I felt like the start of God of War 2 could have been better, but at the same time, God of War 2 capitalized on what God of War 1 didn't do. But at the same time, I still felt like God of War 1 was better than 2, because the story was so fucking deep inside God of War 1. Deep as hell. God of War 2 story was alright, but the gameplay in God of War 2 is what stepped it up and stuff like that. Showed extremely what the PS2 can do. God of War 3 on PS3, they could have made it more epic, but at the same time, you cannot say the boss fights inside God of War 3 and the epicness and the skill that they showed, the real-time gameplay, not no pre-rendered physics or anything. Like you're scaling this big-ass fucking thing, and I forgot what it's called, but you're scaling this big-ass dude or whatever, and the camera zooms out while you're still moving around, pretty much how Uncharted does too, when you're moving around inside big set piece moments and you're still able to control your character. It's not no pre-rendered freaking video or anything. You're actually controlling that character as it's rendering that entire thing that you're on. It's rendering everything. So yeah, Killzone franchise. Killzone 1, I have never played Killzone 1, but seen a lot of gameplay on PS2. it showed it was way ahead of its time. It showed what the PS2 couldn't do. It did so much stuff that the PS2 couldn't even handle. The PS2 wasn't even made for. So I knew, and a lot of people knew that when Killzone 2 come on the PS3, that it was gonna be the shit. It was gonna be epic. It was gonna show what the PS3 can do plus more, and it did. That game even looked better than some PC games. But I had a grudge against Killzone 2, even though it looked sexy as hell. I hate it when. And sometimes I kind of do this a little bit too. You get excited with your work, and then you start bragging, saying, "Oh, this is tight. Our game is looks better than any game ever made in the history of games, even PC games." When you say shit like that, you look stupid because it doesn't look better than a PC game. There's no way in the world you can get a console game to look better than a PC game. And when I played that game, I was so ignorant. I was acting ignorant. I admit it. I was acting ignorant, saying, "I know I like Killzone 2, but the game, they're stupid for talking about how it looks better than any game ever made," even though there are some other console games that look better than Killzone 2 that was out at the time. But I'm not going to touch more on that. Killzone 3. Step down the graphics a little bit to add more epicness within the environment, add more bullets flying around, buzzing past your ears if you got Adobe Digital Surround Sound. Killzone 3 did it. 3D, PlayStation Move, epicness. It was the shit, and it still is the shit. Multiplayer, oh my God. A couple of my friends just got a PS3, and I just told them, if you want to get shooter game, that's for PS3 only. Hit up Killzone 3. Killzone 2, I recommend you start with Killzone 3 if you want to play multiplayer. Okay, last but not least, the Onimusha franchise, Onimusha 1 through 3. Now, there is more Onimusha games, Onimusha Dawn of Dreams, which I do own, and Onimusha Blade Warriors, which is kind of a Mario Smash Brothers, but on Onimusha style. Now, a lot of people don't know that much about Onimusha. That's why I'm putting the screenshots right now as I speak. They're pretty much all the same. Like, there's no really way of saying one went better than the other one. And my favorite one is Onimusha 2. Man, you can play through that game and never get bored by playing through it again. Like, I don't know, something about the Onimusha franchise that stuck with me ever since I first started playing it a long ass time ago. So if you got a PS2, I recommend you pick up the Onimusha games. You can find them for $5, $10, $15, even brand new for like $5 and $10 and $20 and stuff like that. You won't be disappointed, especially if you like Ninja Gaiden, but you're not a ninja, you're a samurai type fighting style. So yeah, I will be making an update video after this, talking about what I plan on doing for next year. So I will be touching on some more stuff for next year. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and close this Universal Gamer update out. I had more to talk about, but I'll talk about it inside a separate video. Anyways, I want to say that I'm doing it big next year. Me and my boy that I've collaborated with, and more people that I'm trying to get in touch with and collaborated with, we're gonna be doing it big. Everybody know that when I do. Every year I do it bigger and bigger, and that's what I'm going to be talking about inside my status update after this video in the same little area. So thank you guys for watching my Universal Gamer updates. It's been your boy on the side about the Universal Gamer, and I'm out of here. Peace.